morning, my dears. I hope you all are fine. Yeah, we too fine. Okay. So after long gap, we are going to be start history part. Okay. After long gap, already almost 1 month over, we are discuss history. Now from this week and next week we are going to be discuss history. Okay. So history third lesson, the Delhi Sultans. Okay, the Delhi Sultans. So this lesson alone we are going to be discuss under two parts. Okay, under two parts. So for this week, this is part 1. Okay, so Delhi Sultans, the Delhi Sultans part 1 we are going to be discuss from this video. Okay, so before moving to the topic about Delhi Sultan, we just small recap what we discussed in second lesson. So what is the second lesson for you in history means new kings and kingdoms. Okay, new kings and kingdoms. It's a second lesson for you. So in that lesson, particularly we discuss about Cholas. Okay, that you know very well. Okay, apart from Cholas, what are the things we discuss means tri-party struggle. Okay, so tri-party struggle. So where the tri-party struggle happened means the region of Ganga river valley. So three kingdoms, Rashtrakuta kingdoms, Pala dynastics and Gujarat and Pratikara. These three kingdoms fought each other for capturing Kannauj area. Okay, that alone called as tri-party struggle. That too you wrote in your PT1 exam. Okay, so next these two only very important, very close to this lesson. After tri-party struggle, what we discussed means about Muhammad Ghazni. Okay, so Muhammad Ghazni. Who was Muhammad Ghazni means he was the ruler of Afghanistan. Okay, he was the ruler of Afghanistan. He ruled the area of Ghazni. So what's his name? Muhammad. Okay, that's why he was called as Muhammad Ghazni. So he raided India around 17 times. He looted many things from India to his country. That too we discussed in last class itself. At that time itself he said that Muhammad Ghazni, he had no idea to rule our country. Okay, he had no idea. Muhammad Ghazni had no idea to rule India. Follow Muhammad Ghazni after 50 or 60 years back. Muhammad Ghori, okay, he also the ruler of Afghanistan, he ruled the area of Ghori, okay. So he comes to India the year of 1191, okay, in the year of 1191 he comes to India, okay. So he had the idea, he have aim to rule India, okay. So he comes to India in the year of 1191. So that time he was Muhammad Ghori was defeated by Prithviraj Chauhan. Okay, who was Prithviraj Chauhan? He was a Rajput king. He ruled the area of Ajmer. Okay, so many Rajput kings they are joining together and fight against Muhammad Ghori in the year of 1191. Again, the year of 1192, Muhammad Ghori again he comes to India. But in that war, who lost means Prithviraj Chauhan was lost in that war. Why? Because other Rajput kings they are not ready to support Prithviraj Chauhan. So that is very easy for defeating Prithviraj Chauhan by Muhammad Ghori. Why I said these stories means, so before 1192, okay, before 1192, our country was ruled by Indian kings alone. Okay, particularly many areas were ruled by only Hindu kings. Okay, many areas were ruled by Hindu kings, and the kings they were belongs to India alone. But the year of 1192, after 1192, many Muslim rulers they started to rule. Okay, Okay, so those Muslim rulers only called as sultans. Okay, those Muslim rulers only called as sultans. So who are called as sultan means in Persian language sultan means king. Okay, so that's why. So after 1192, a set of kings, many dynastics they ruled India. Okay, so that alone we are going to be discussed in the third lesson, the Delhi Sultanate, and fourth lesson, the Mughal Empire. Okay, so let me going to listen. So the rulers of Delhi. Okay, the rulers of Delhi. I hope you know very well the story of Mahabharata, right? Recent also many TV channels they are playing, they are telecast Mahabharata serial. Okay, why I said means in that serial we supposed to see one of the place here, one of the place Indraprastha. Okay, one of the place is called as Indraprastha. So where Pandavas construct their own city, their own capital, their own country. Like that in that serial, in that shows they expand. Okay, so many historians believes that Indraprastha alone, it's called as Delhi. Presently we are using Delhi. No, that Delhi, it's very close. That Indraprastha may be situated in that place. Like that, many historians believed. Okay, so let comes to please under guessing alone for your information I said. So just come to the lesson. So the rulers of Delhi. Okay. So in the time of 1165, early 12th century, the Delhi was ruled by Thomas. Okay, Thomas. So who ruled in the early 12th century means Thomas. They are ruled Delhi. They also belongs to Rajput. Okay, belongs to Rajput. Okay. So from Thomas, the Delhi was captured by Chaukans. Okay, the Delhi surrounding area was captured by Chaukans. They are of 1165. Okay, so I said before itself, the Rajput kings they are not unite to their neighboring country. Often they fight each other to capture their countries. Like that, they often fought each other. Okay, so like that, from Thomas, the Chaukans they captured the area of Delhi and surrounding. Okay, so they kept capital. What was the capital of Chaukans means Ajmer. Okay, so what was the capital of Chaukans means Ajmer, the capital, but Delhi plays very important roles. Okay, so in those days, the surrounding of Delhi, who lived, which people lived large means particularly the followers of Jaina. Okay, the followers of Jaina were lived in that place very large number. Okay, so they are using one of the term is Delhi Wala. Okay, Delhi Wala. Okay, they are making coins in copper and silver or gold. In that coin, they minted as a Delhi Wala. So the Delhi is very big trading hub in those days. Okay, the time when the Chaukans ruled Delhi, that time itself, Delhi was a very big trading hub. Okay, many traders they come to that place. They involved in trading. Many countries traders they are coming. They came there and they are involved in trading. Okay, so like that in those days, Delhi plays very important roles. Okay, so when the foreign kings, particularly Muhammad Ghori, when he hears about Delhi, okay, how much trade happened, how it was very busy city like that, when he comes to know, he started to, he ready to capture that Delhi surrounding area. That is main reason why he came to India, why he tried to capture Delhi means it was a very big trading hub, okay, very big trading center. Suppose he captured in that place, he started doing that place means he may get many amount, more amount. That is the main reason many kings they eagerly capture the Delhi surrounding area. Okay, so next we are going to discuss about number of kings who have ruled Delhi up to 1489. Okay, so when Muhammad Ghori captured India means the year of 1192. Okay, 1192 Muhammad Ghori captured India. Particularly he captured Delhi and surrounding area. Okay, so he is not won the war and a simple task. He had fight with Prithviraj Chauhan. So it was very tough war. So in that war, Ghori was born. Okay, so after Ghori won the war, he settled Delhi and he started to rule Delhi surrounding area. But the weather condition is not suitable to Ghori and their troop members. Okay, so only 3 to 4 years only he was ruled. He was settled here. He ruled here. Again, he is going to his country. Okay, so that place of Afghanistan he went. Okay, so when he was moving to his country, that time he appointed as a governor, like as a captain of to ruling. He gave rights to the person ruling Delhi surrounding area instead of Ghori. Okay, so to whom he gave the rights means Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, so he gave the ruling rights to Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, so when Ghori returned to his country, that time he gave the ruling rights to Qutbuddin Aibak. So who was Qutbuddin Aibak? Okay, who was Qutbuddin Aibak means he was a slave. Okay, very initially he was a slave. So the year of in the age of around 10 or 12, actually Qutbuddin Aibak belongs to Turkey. Okay, he belongs to the country of Turkey. Okay, so Ghori was the ruler of Afghanistan, I said before itself. Okay, Afghanistan, but that Qutbuddin Aibak belongs to Turkey. Okay, he was a slave. He was working as a slave from his birth onwards. Okay, you know very well what is slave. Okay, so the time of when he was the age of 10, Qutbuddin Aibak, the age of 10, he was taken by his owner in the market, slave market. See, in those days, slave market was very famous. They are selling slaves as a human beings. They are treated as a slave and they are treated as an object. How nowadays we are sell goat, sheep or cow, buffaloes in the market, like that. The people those days they treat some kind of people as a slave and like an object. Okay, so Qutbuddin Aibak, his owner take him to the market for selling. Okay, so to where he is taking to Qutbuddin Aibak means the place of Afghanistan. Why means the king that time Muhammad Ghori declare, I'm going to be take some slave, I'm going to be buy some slave to my troop, to my army. Like that he gave the notice, advertisement. That's why his owner taking Qutbuddin Aibak to Afghanistan. Okay, so the time of the age of 12 and 13, he was very strong, he was very height, very tall, somewhat very strong personality that time itself. So when the time of slave market, Muhammad Ghori saw Qutbuddin Aibak, that time itself Ghori was admired Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, so he was taken as a slave of Muhammad Ghori. Okay, so basically Qutbuddin Aibak belongs to the country of Turkey. So that you have to keep it in your mind. These information and all not in your book. For your understanding, you have to know why they are called as slave dynastics. That's why I said. Okay. So after he was taken by Ghori's team or his army. Very first he was a normal soldiers in the Muhammad Ghori's troop. Later he was developed. He was promoted on a very big position. Okay, so when Muhammad Ghori comes to India for the fight against Chaukans, at that time in that war, Qutbuddin Aibak plays very important role. Okay, so he plays very important role in that war time. He shows his full power and full energy. So that too impressed by Muhammad Ghori. Okay, so that's why after when Muhammad Ghori returned back to his country, he gave the rights to rule which area captured by him. Okay, so that's why that is the reason why, because means he was very hard worker. Okay, he faced lot of problem in his life, but he overcomes. Who means Qutbuddin Aibak? He overcomes all the problems and then he became the king of Delhi and surrounding area. Okay, so the followers of Qutbuddin Aibak, see, who are ruled after Qutbuddin Aibak, they were called as early Turkey rulers. Also, they are called as slave rulers, slave dynastics. Okay, slave dynastics or early Turkey rulers, both are same only. Why they were called as slave dynastics means, I said before itself, Qutbuddin Aibak was a slave in the time of his small age time. Okay, so when he was become the king, he ruled only 4 years in India. Okay, only 4 years. The time of playing polo game. Okay, you know very well polo. So the time of playing polo game, he was fell down from in the hearts and he was tried. Okay, so only 4 years only he was ruled in India. But in that 4 years, he was did that administration works were very amazing method. Okay, which administration work he implement, it was very amazing. And then in the 4 years, he captured many areas are surrounded in Delhi area. Okay, surrounded to Delhi, he captured many area. So before he was died, he selected a person who was Samsuddin Iltutmish. Okay, Samsuddin Iltutmish. Okay, Samsuddin Iltutmish. Who was Samsuddin Iltutmish? Iltutmish means he also belongs to slave. Okay, he also belongs to slave and he was the slave of Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, so Qutbuddin Aibak was a slave of Muhammad Ghori. Okay, so how Muhammad Ghori treated Qutbuddin Aibak in a good position, like that Qutbuddin Aibak also treated Samsuddin Iltutmish in a good manner. Okay, so that's why after his ruling, he select Samsuddin Iltutmish. Okay, so for why he select means Qutbuddin Aibak had a daughter. Okay, so Samsuddin Iltutmish was married Qutbuddin Aibak's daughters. Okay, so Samsuddin Iltutmish was a son-in-law of Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, so he was the son-in-law of Qutbuddin Aibak. That's why after Qutbuddin Aibak ruling time, after the death of Qutbuddin Aibak, Samsuddin Iltutmish started to rule Delhi and surrounding area. So when he became starting ruling means 1210 to 1236. Okay, around 26 years he was ruled. Okay, around 26 years he was ruled. In his ruling period alone, Samsuddin Iltutmish. Okay, we can say Iltutmish. So Iltutmish period alone. At present we have in Delhi Qutub Minar building, no. So that was constructed. Okay, so because of to give important, to give prize Qutbuddin Aibak. That's why he construct in his period alone. He construct the Qutbuddin Aibak. But what is the height at present? That was increased later alone. Okay, when he was construct that time, it is not that much height. Okay, but Samsuddin Iltutmish period alone, the Qutub Minar was constructed. Okay, so see, Samsuddin Iltutmish, he was very powerful. He was very good warrior. Okay, but he had around 3 sons, 3 to 4 sons. Out of 4 sons, 3 sons, they are not good personality. Okay, they are drug addict people. Okay, they are not involving any war, or they are not involved in any administrative activity. They are addicted drug. Okay, one boy was very small, around 2 to 3 years old. Okay, but Samsuddin Iltutmish had a daughter. Okay, one of the daughter, her name only called as Russia Begum. Okay, her name only called as Russia Begum. Okay, so when this Iltutmish was going to be ill, so he felt, okay, very soon I am going to be die, like that he felt. So that time he declared, after my death, okay, after Iltutmish's death, who want to become the king, like that he declared Russia Begum only wants to become the king. Why? Because she only had the quality, all the quality, like that he declared. Why? Because Russia Begum, she is very a powerful lady in those days. Okay, she was educated. He was very good educated, and in war field also she is going to. She is riding horse. She is involved in many wars. Like that, she was grow like a soldier. Okay, that's why he believed. Okay, Iltutmish believed, after my death, this dynastics want to be success, means Russia only wants to rule, like that Iltutmish think. That's why he declared Russia to become the king. Okay, see, in our whole history, Indian history, many Muslim rulers they ruled. Russia Begum is only one queen ruled India. Okay, even before Russia Begum, there is no Muslim queen not ruled country. After Russia Begum also, there is no Muslim queen not ruled the country. Why? Because see, Russia Begum also ruled only 4 years. Okay, only 4 years. Only she ruled 1232 to 1240. So in that 4 years, she faced lot of problem. Okay, she faced lot of problem. There is no support, even her ministries. Okay, many ministers, they are belongs to, already I said, they are called Muslim rulers. In those days, they are not treated women. Nowadays, many Muslim family, they send their children, they send their girl babies to school. They are expect so much. But in those days, when we studied about the 13th century time, that time the ladies was very treated very worst manner. Not only in Muslim, many even in Hindus also, they are treated in very worst manner of here ladies. Okay, even in 6th standard also you studied how Chanakya explained this situation of women in his Arthashastra book. Okay, so Russia Begum comes to lesson. Russia Begum, she faced lot of problem during her ruling time. Okay, in your book page number 32, one of the box they mentioned Minhaj Suraj, one of the writer, he explained about what are the problem faced by Russia Sultan. Okay, even she is not ready to say, she instruct her ministers and her peoples, don't call Russia queen, call me Sultan, like that you are very gutsful lady. Okay, so she was killed by his minister members. Okay, they are doing some underground are killed. They give poison something. So he was killed by his soldiers. They are of 1240. Okay, so after again the confusion started. So after her death, who want to become the ruler? Okay, so that time already I said Samsuddin Iltutmish had three sons, one daughter. Okay, so two sons they are a drug addict. Okay, one son he was very young. I said no. So he was going to be become a king. Okay, around 6 to 7 years. So he don't know how to rule. What is ruling? That and all he don't know. Okay, so I forgot his name later I will say. So who was become the guardian of that boy? Okay, who was become the guardian of the boy means Ghiyasuddin Balban. Okay, Ghiyasuddin Balban was the guardian of Russia's brother. Okay, Russia Begum's brother's guardian means Ghiyasuddin Balban. Okay, so around 25 years, that boy, that small boy, when he was grow around 25 to 30 years, he was ruled, but indirectly. Okay, he was a puppet king. Okay, he was a puppet king. He is not taking any decision. Instead of him, who take decision means Ghiyasuddin Balban. Okay, so he also a slave. Okay, Ghiyasuddin Balban also slave of Samsuddin Iltutmish. Okay, Samsuddin Iltutmish. So Ghiyasuddin Balban was a slave of Samsuddin Iltutmish. So after death of Russia Begum, her brother was ruled around 25 years. So after he said one particular time he said I am not interested to rule. So instead of me hereafter this region want to rule by Ghiyasuddin Balban. Like that he declared Balban as a king. Okay, so so in the year of 1266, you can see in your book we have the gap after 1240 around 26 years we have gap. Okay, even that king name also not mentioned in your book. This is the reason. Okay, he was a puppet king. Instead of him who ruled means Balban alone. Okay, so Balban became the king in the year of 1266. Around 20 years he was ruled. Okay, up to 1287. So his period, he also very good administrator. Okay, so why now you understand why the Turkey dynastics is called as slave dynastic means Qutbuddin Aybek also slave, Samsuddin Iltutmish also slave, Ghiyasuddin Balban also slave. Okay, so these three slave persons, they are ruled, they are achieved. That's why this is called as slave dynastic. Okay, so after Balban, what happened means Balban's Ghiyasuddin Balban's followers, their successors, they are not a successful ruler. So that's why very soon that Balban dynastics, Turkey dynastics going to be end. So the year of 1290, a new dynastics will start to rule. That we will discuss. So next dynastics we are going to be discuss Khilji dynastics and Tughlaq dynastics. Okay, so after Balban's dynastics or Balban ruling time over, the year of 1290. Okay, the year of 1290, the ruling dynastics of Khilji. Okay, they also belongs to the rulers of Afghan. They rule the small area of Afghan. So they come and captured the Delhi surrounding area. Okay, so who captured means the Delhi surrounding area after Balban ruling? Jalaluddin Khilji. Okay, Jalaluddin Khilji was captured the year of 1290. So from 1290 onwards, that dynastic is called Khilji dynastics. Okay, around 50 years, around 30 to 40 years they may ruled. Okay. Okay, so Jalaluddin Khilji and Alaluddin Khilji. Okay, Alauddin Khilji and Jalaluddin Khilji, two members they ruled. Okay, so this Jalaluddin Khilji, he was also very good ruler, very powerful personality. So he ruled around 6 years the Delhi surrounding area. Okay, so when he was going to one war, so he won the war and he returned back to Delhi area. So that time he was killed by Alauddin Khilji. Okay, so you have to remember hereafter in 7th standard, all the kings when they want to come to the position, they want to become the king. They did all illegal activities. Okay, they killed the king, and even suppose the king's babies, the sons or daughters are very small means, even that children were also killed, or their eyes going to be damaged. Okay, like that activities happened, many things. Okay, so Jalaluddin, see, who was Alauddin Khilji means, he was the son-in-law of Jalaluddin Khilji. Here how Samsuddin Iltutmish, before we discussed now Qutbuddin Aibak's son-in-law only, Iltutmish, like that we discussed now, like that Jalaluddin's son-in-law only Alauddin Khilji, but Alauddin Khilji Alauddin Khilji married Jalaluddin's daughter. Okay, but he killed the king with the help of his supporters, and he became the king the year of 1296. Okay, so we will elaborately discuss about Alauddin Khilji's administration in the part 2. Okay, so next, after Alauddin Khilji, who ruled means the Tughlaq dynasty. Okay, the Tughlaq dynastics. So who are ruled in Tughlaq dynastics means Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, okay, in the year of 1320 to 24, and Muhammad Tughlaq 1324 to 51, and Feroz Shah Tughlaq the year of 1351 to 1388. Okay, so out of these three Tughlaq rulers, Muhammad Tughlaq was very famous ruler. Okay, so what he did, why he was very famous, because of his administration, that too we will discuss in part 2. Okay, it's very interesting, that we will discuss in part 2. Okay, so after these two dynasties, there is no very big dynastics. Only Sayyid dynastic and Lodi dynastics only ruled, only around 40 to 50 years they ruled. Then the Mughal empires, they come to India, that we will discuss next class. Okay, he was not able to come to the big position means that position was rejected because of his birthright. Okay, so that and all they see, they only the Dwarik only often instructs the kings. And then gender discrimination, they are not treated, women, particularly girls and women, they were not treated equal manner. This is the main reason why Russia Begum not able to rule continuously. Okay, many Dwariks, many ministers who were worked under the Samsuddin Iltutmish, they are not ready to support Russia Begum. That's why she was killed by like these people. Okay, why? Because they are believed women that they don't have quality to rule a country, like that they believed in those days, right? When we recap what are the things we discussed up to now. Okay, so the Delhi Sultanate, from your book page number, from history book page number 30 to 35. Okay, 30 to 35 we discuss up to now. Okay, 30 to 35 we discuss. What are the topic we discuss means different kings. Okay, different kings and their ruling time. Okay, different kings who ruled Delhi surrounding area and their ruling time we discuss, and then we discuss about hinterland and garrison town. Okay, hinterland and garrison town, that too we discuss. Okay, so in between the time of we discuss different kings, particularly we discuss about slave dynastics. Okay, wait kana garrison town. Okay, so the time of discussion of different kings and their period, we discuss about slave dynastics, Khilji dynastics, Tughlaq dynastics, and we discuss about Russia Begum and the birthright, gender discrimination. So which language they used for their administration. So everything we discuss. I hope you will understand what I taught you, right? So for this you have worksheet. Okay, very short type answer and detailed questions, everything I gave. So up to 35, up to page number 35 only you have answer for that question. So don't go back after 35. That and all we will discuss in part 2, right? I hope you understand what I explained, right? Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care.